Hello, I'm Stephen Englander. This is Between the Spreadsheets, and on tonight's episode, we've got Amazon v Visa. There's lots of things going on there. What's this one say? Walker's crisp shortage, and Insulate Britain campaigners are going to prison. So that's some of the things we've got lined up for tonight's show. But before we start, I want to say that I hope Graham gets things right tonight, because I want to finish a bit earlier to get home, because I'm having homemade lasagna and I need to get home and eat that. But let's just look at Amazon and Visa. What's going on there? Well, Amazon are saying that they don't want to accept Visa credit card payments because, they're saying that it's too expensive, that the card charges are too expensive. And this has been going on for years. I mean, is it bullying? Is it sort of directing the market to a certain place? Is it unfair trade? But whatever it is, you've got two giants going at it. I mean, I don't feel sorry for the banks or the credit cards. I think they're all a load of shysters, and I think Amazon's a load of shysters. But what we've got here are two giants. So it's like King Kong v Godzilla, and people that use the facilities are going to get hit in the fallout. So no matter what happens, it might be good for Amazon, it might be okay for Visa, but everybody else is going to lose out, because somewhere along the lines you're going to pay the price. So it's the thing I always say: try and use these things, but not rely on these things, because sooner or later you're going to have problems. On an up note with it, though, Amazon are saying that they're going to pay people up to $30 to replace Visa with MasterCard, or basically just wipe out the Visa account. So that's something. The next thing we were looking at was
what? Firstly. Hello, everyone. No, you couldn't hear that. That was my introduction. Secondly, it's very, very busy tonight. Happy Dog's in.
Is it? Oh, hello.
I just thought, let's just stop, take a breath, say hello to everyone.
Do you know, Hayden was laughing before. Because he's been making feature films, which is his heart's desire, and he's been all happy, which isn't good for the rest of us. Then again, is it fair to say that happy people are a bit simple anyway? Sorry, Happy Dog, you just made me think.
Well, there you go anyway. Duke Bratsy said, generic Englander on the streets, total beast between the spreadsheets.
Thank you. Thank you. It is an image I want.
Smoke Steve,
I aspire to that.
Smoke Steve has said, hello, I'm painting at work, so this will be as exciting as watching paint dry.
I like watching. Have you ever watched paint dry?
Good vibes. Happy Dog's asking if Charlie's going to be dressed like a chav tonight.
No, Charlie's got other things to do. I don't know what, but he's got other things to do. So he's off on new adventures. There you go. Anything else, or can we get on with the stories?
No, can I just say, hello everyone.
My lasagna's waiting for me. Homemade lasagna. Melanie is an absolutely amazing cook.
I'll have to find out for myself.
No, you never will.
Oh. You said we were going to have a movie night.
Not in my house.
You liar!
Graham.
What? Well, I would do, but I've got people who I would invite.
I've been to his house.
Yeah,
For dinner.
He did.
Didn't he say we could have a movie night there?
You must have misheard.
Oh my God! You must have just had your meds.
Go on. What else are you going on about? Come on, move on.
Grand Theft Auto.
That's a game, isn't it?
It is a video game.
Oh, is this what you've got here? GTA remaster. Oh, I read it as a GTA, some sort of car. Sorry. Go on, tell me what's going on.
Well, the remaster came out, but rather than making it all high definition and realistic looking, like a realistic cartoon, they've made it very, very cartoony. And they're being accused of outsourcing too much of the work and then rush releasing it in the hope that it'll just sell well.
So the problem's here with outsourcing.
Outsourcing. It's a disgrace, Stephen. It should never be done.
What, outsourcing?
Yeah.
Do you know, it's a difficult one, that, because fair enough, we actually did a poll on this. I don't know if you know, on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, and surprisingly, around the 70-75% of people that are voting for outsourcers rather than employees. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because do you outsource and not have? I mean, there's a lot of difficulty in employing people these days, and if you don't get the right people in, it can destroy people's businesses. It can certainly give you grey hair and heart attacks, and you lose the will to live. But there are a lot of burden in employing people these days, and even when someone's not doing the job right, you can't just say like fuck off you arsehole. You've got to sort of go through the whole procedure of proving that they're actually not doing the job properly, and by the time you've done that, you've got more wages in and more holiday pay and more everything else, and then they go on sick and you've got that. But it's difficult because if you get a good team of subcontractors that are specialising, they want to do the job properly and move on to the next one. So it's a hard one. But I did speak to one of our associate advisors, a lady called Vicky in Newfoundland in Canada, and when I posed this to her, her attitude was that you have your main staff for everyday jobs, so you've always got everyday things going, services being dealt with, and you use outsourcing work for specialist or areas that you've not got the expertise in house, and you use them as a backup if you get a surge of work on, or you've got staff letting you down or not being well or on holidays. So there's a balance. I suspect here, sorry to babble on because I know you were more excited about the game, but I suspect here that it's not so much bad outsourcers, but bad management that didn't watch what they were doing and just assumed, there you go, there's the job, and just left it to them. And I don't think that's clever in any business, just to say, go and do the job and leave people to it, unless you've known people for many years.
Bad management at a video game company. Madness. I won't hear of it.
No. Man, when you say it like that, you realise how much money some of these firms make.
Oh, they're bigger than Star Wars, mate.
Yeah.
They're huge.
So maybe you shouldn't comment. Leave them to it. Anyway, what's a man of your years playing games for? I mean, you've got better things to do.
I don't really play Grand Theft Auto anymore.
It's just something you read.
It's just a nice way to spend time with my daughter, Stephen.
Yeah, no, actually.
Thanks for pissing all over it. No, I'm talking about video games.
Actually, it's a violent game, isn't it?
I don't play that with her.
So you
Play
play...
that with a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
I play Phoenix Wright.
Disgraceful.
We pretend to be lawyers.
Is this why you're filming for OnlyFans? Do you get her to hold a camera?
Whoa.
Oh, Graham, I'm ashamed.
Look right.
Actually, I know Graham's a great dad. Yeah. And I've met his little girl, and she's lovely. He's a much better parent than me. We missed off the other moan you had before about the HS2. Apparently they've stopped building it to Leeds, haven't they?
They've only scrapped part of it, unfortunately. But yeah, the Leeds, the Eastern line, it's still coming to Manchester, so
Well, that's okay. But a country's infrastructure is based on its ability to move goods and people around. So if people, I think Victoria did this with the trains, because she realised that they needed to bring Britain, England into the more industrial age, and she brought the trains in. So these new high-speed trains to make the country all tighter together and easier to run it's got to be a natural good idea. It's got to be what we do. But if it's not if it's not fit for purpose, what they're building, if the trains are going to be outmoded, and my personal belief is that they're building something today which will probably be out of fashion by the time it's finished, and there'll be something much more modern already in play everywhere else. So what do? Do they wait a few years for the technology to catch up with the ideas, or do they build something that's not quite there yet and then scrap it in a few years' time?
I'm not having that, Stephen.
No, go on.
Don't put it on the Queen like it was some... No, it was private industry that brought trains to the world.
Oh, yeah, but she sort of encouraged it, didn't she?
We sorted it out. And did you know something very interesting?
Yeah.
Time zones and GMT...
You just go with him, don't you?
No.
He's on one.
We, in Manchester, the Manchester to Liverpool line, there is a 15-minute difference in the time if you use a sundial.
That's a lot.
So when we did the first ever...
Don't knock 15 minutes.
No, but the first ever passenger railway, there
Yeah.
was a big problem there. What are we going to do? Because everyone's clocks were different going along the line. So we said, why don't we run a line from Manchester to Greenwich?
Yeah.
And we'll agree that's the time.
So that's the Greenwich line.
That's where the Greenwich Mean Time came from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As a standard on land.
Standing fact there, Greg.
And it was private business. The government refused.
What's he been eating?
And we just did it anyway. We just did it anyway because sod them.
What's he been smoking again?
Very exciting.
I know.
It's that 6-year-old vape juice of Aiden's that I found in the back. Sent me a bit weird.
I'm going lost again here. Is there a story here, or should we move on to the next topic?
The Queen. As if it was the...
You like the Queen, don't you? You're very royal. You're a big royalist.
Do you know what? I'll take the royals over the bloody government these days.
Well, it's not a choice, really, is
I've
it?
shifted now. I have
Shifted to what?
shifted away from
To acknowledging the government.
No.
So here's another question. Is, at the moment you've got. I went out for dinner the other night, and the menu, what's on the menu is getting less and less and less. So it's like you used to have dozens of options. Now you've got 6. And I've noticed that in general in shops that you seem to have less choice in where they are. You might go to find 27,000 different versions of cheddar cheese, but where's the brie? Where's the camembert? Where's the whatever other cheeses there are? Its choice seems to be going, but from a business perspective, is it good to give customers a lot of choice, or does it to confuse them? Because I know that when I had my shops, I'd sell, say, crisps, because we're going to mention crisps soon, and I'd have loads of different flavors. And what I noticed is that people didn't buy more bags because they thought, I'll have cheese and onion, I'll have salt and vinegar, I'll have this, I'll have that. When I had less flavors in, they just bought the same amount of crisps. So it was much easier for me just to sell a fewer selection, and I could package them a lot easier, and it took up less space, and I could then maybe introduce chocolate bars in the same space, or ornaments, or radios, or whatever. But the amount of variety of different products, 6 different types of beans, do we need that? What have you got a comment on that, Graham, or can I move on?
Well, I just thought we were here championing small businesses, and to be honest, that 6th flavour of beans might be a little upstart that's coming through and selling themselves. So I like it. I agree with you in the sense that we don't need a crazy choice.
No.
But I think the market decides that for us.
Oh yeah, I mean the market doesn't decide. Anyone in retail will tell you that. People buy what they see in front of them, and you can nudge them.
That's true.
I would have, say with beans. Tesco's, they all do it. They have a cheap tin with a wrapper that you really don't want people to see you buying, and then you have a more expensive tin of beans or whatever. And people don't want to buy the cheap ones, so they're being nudged all the time. And if they do want to buy the cheap ones, it's probably the same stuff anyway, just with a different label on it.
Why is my missus in the comments? Soph, don't watch this.
I don't know.
Weird. Don't. That's freaked me out there. She just popped up there, just saying beans.
Do you know, you're so lucky to have Graham, and we're lucky to have you, otherwise he'd be here more often.
I've got to say this, though, on this point, and it's very, very... One of my rules for travelling, I love backpacking. You don't get it a lot in this country, unfortunately, is when I'm travelling, I will find a food place, because obviously I don't know the city or whatever. I'll find somewhere that only sells 1 or 2 items.
It's just easier to make the choice, isn't it?
Well, but I know then that it's going to be good. If they've got 30 things on the menu, it's all going to be
well, it's like, well, have you got that? No. Oh, it's okay, I'll have that.
Yeah.
So it's good. It is good for businesses. I'm not talking like have nothing on the shelves or just the same thing. I'm just saying that does it actually help with sales? With that, if you go into a restaurant and it's not got that fish, but it's got that fish, does it matter? Will people just take what's in front of them?
Commie.
No, it doesn't have to be. No, I didn't mean it that way. I mean, give people the choices, but do you need to have as many things? Because if you think about it, if you're a restaurant, you've got to have a different process every time someone cooks wants you to cook something different. So if you can sort of sell more of the same, then you can get a production line going much easier. I think that's all I'm trying to say.
Duke, sorry, no. There's a bit of a chat going on here, but
Okay.
Smoke Steve has asked if we have American
Smoke
cheese.
Steve, you're in America, aren't you?
That's why he's asked if we've got American cheese.
Yeah, we do. We just, being British, we don't eat it. We eat the proper stuff. Yeah, it's just squeezy things.
good Lord, no.
It's powdered, or it's
American
just.
cheese is rubbish.
Of course it is.
It's easy to make. You just put a cheese slice on the side for 2 days.
Yeah, you mean like Kraft cheese?
Yeah, done and
Yeah.
dusted. Yeah, but you've got to leave it.
Yeah, but it's not
for
proper cheese.
An ungodly amount of time.
Yeah,
I think shops in this country
yeah.
should only sell British food. That's what I think.
I suppose that's what's been a free country. You don't have to buy it. I don't.
No, that's not good enough for me.
No, you just want only British food.
And that includes curry,
Yeah,
fish
and
and chips,
fish and chips.
all
Yeah,
those things.
yeah.
That's British now.
No, yeah, I get where you're coming
Don't
from.
need American cheese.
Well, American cheese is it's not Montgomery Jack or something, or it's
shit.
it's
And do you know
it's
what else we don't need?
sugar and cheese.
Starbucks.
No, I hate Starbucks. I hate all these franchise.
Pumpkin
There's
spice.
plenty of good old English cafes that you can get
I
food
tried
poisoning far
pumpkin
better.
spice, Stephen.
Oh, that's a coffee, isn't it?
I used to like America.
I was with you when we had something like that, and you got the diet one.
No, that's caramel latte.
Oh, caramel latte. They're all the same to me. You know. But no, it's nice. It's nice to have choice. It's nice to have variety, and even American cheese if that's what you want.
Yeah, can I just say though,
Yeah.
where there's no choice, it's for myself. Can you stop flirting with Smoke Steve, please, in the chat? There's no choices there. You've got one thing on the shelf, and it's me sending in virtual hugs.
Let's leave Graham's problems. There's obviously a story there. I'm going to go into Gogglebox. You don't watch Gogglebox, do you, Graham?
No, I don't.
I
watch
like
TV.
Gogglebox. It's a show on TV where people are filmed, just normal everyday people apparently, filmed making comments while they watch TV, and no, it's good. But they're looking for new families to be on it. They've done very well. Some of these people they've gone on to make have their own shows or they've gone into politics. Some of them they've done very well out of Gogglebox. Well, some of them have. So I saw this advert for they want new families for Gogglebox. So I thought maybe I could go on it. Well, I text Melanie, says she wanted to go on it, and she said I should read things properly because it's only in Scotland that they want Scottish families, which is typical.
That's a bit
isn't it?
racist, isn't it?
Well, I think it's
Eh?
a bit off. It's a bit off.
I'm not white enough for your show, am I now?
I didn't say
Disgraceful.
you.
No, that's what they're saying, though, aren't they? If it's Scottish people only, eh?
Scottish people can be white or any colour.
They're super white. That's the point.
You're going somewhere I don't understand. So I'm going to change the subject and go back to what I'm being made fun of in the office at the moment, because they're accusing me of going around jacuzzis, sitting in jacuzzis, and chatting guys up in the jacuzzi, and then going to bars and chatting them up in bars. And the reason I'm saying this is because my attitude is wherever you are, if you've got an audience, you're pitching. You're selling to people. You're introducing your products. If you talk to 5 people a day and tell them what you do, you shouldn't have to listen to. You shouldn't have to be short of any customers. So I was just in the gym and I was in the jacuzzi and I was chatting to people, and a couple of them came in to see us and talk about us doing their accounts. And I met a guy. I was sat in a bar. I was having a coffee, and I just got chatting to this guy, and he also is looking for an accountant. So to me, whatever you do, if you're networking, you're networking. If you're out there, you're out there. Tell them what you do. You never know what comes from it. So I don't care if it is in a jacuzzi. Don't stay in it long because I've got high blood pressure. It's not very good for you. Why was that funny? Anyway, tax office. They're going to roll out some warnings. Well, they're not. This is in Australia. But what they're going to do is they're planning on rolling out, like when you file your tax return electronically, they're going to look at it and they're going to look at your expenses and they're going to say compare that automatically with other companies like yours in the country and see how you're doing. And if they feel that their expenses are a bit high, they'll come back and say, hey, do you want to look at these before you file them again? In other words, if you're being a naughty boy, we'll check them first and before we have to discuss anything with you. But the truth is, we've done that for years with clients, because we always feel that if expenses look a bit high, then it might be that the business isn't being run as well or as easily as it could be. And, it's no point paying more for things than you need to be. And therefore, from that point of view, we need to examine expenses that look a bit high. Sometimes we look at things where expenses are a bit low, because you think, well, you need that expense, so maybe you're under servicing people, or you're not getting full benefit of what the business could do, because the expenses there, you should be spending a bit more, like on maybe marketing or on insurance or that type of thing, because you don't want to be underinsured. But it's if HMRC or the revenue in any country feel that the expense is a bit high, they might think that you're playing games with them and come and review you. So we do it from a management point of view, and we like to see it. But you should do it yourself. Always keep an eye on expenses. Expenses can be a bit low or they can be a bit high, but it usually means something. So but just going down a bit, the NatWest have done a survey across the country where they've discovered that supply chains are still a bit of a mess, and that prices are quite high, and because of this, small businesses are struggling. So I just sort of wanted to applaud the NatWest for spending whatever money they spent and finding these figures out. I thought it's bleeding obvious, but I'm glad they pointed out what we all know. And what was he was saying before about the cafe up the road, Graham, with prices?
They've put the prices up now. My sausage and eggs costing me more. It used to be under £5, and now I need to find change. And I'm like, because I get more than one, obviously.
Do you know what they did though? They put a sign on the wall, didn't they?
Yes,
saying that our prices are going up. I don't think that's a particularly good policy move. I think if the prices are going up, then maybe don't mention it. Just put the prices up. Don't put signs all over the place saying, "Hey, our prices are going up," because that's your first thing you say. Oh, the prices have gone up, and it gets you back up before you even move. It's like buying a kebab, isn't it? Where they tell you the prices have gone up because of Brexit. You had that, didn't you, Hayden?
Don't get me started.
No, because you went, and I know this for a fact. You went to buy a kebab, and the gentleman behind the counter said he's put the price up £1, and you said why, and he said because of Brexit, and you told him to stuff the kebab, didn't you?
Damn right, cheeky bastard. Never been back since.
No. Whereas
spend more money now driving
further away, but there's a principle. Whereas, if I'd have been that kebab person, and you'd have said, "Why have the prices come up?" I'd have said, "Have you met my partner? Have you seen how attractive she is, and that doesn't come cheap." You'd have accepted that, wouldn't you?
Any reason, just don't lie to me.
No.
Don't make one up.
Yeah. Well, it annoys me that when you're in shops and
just wanting more money?
yeah. Well, no, I'd just give it them anyway.
We've got Soph still in the chat.
A what?
Stephen. My Soph. Apparently, part supplies for machines at the hospital are a nightmare right now as well.
Yeah, it's
really struggling. It's taking weeks and weeks to get stuff in.
It's strange, isn't it? It's almost as if it's man-made. I mean, we've been going for hundreds of years, certain decades in the modern world without any real issues, and all of a sudden the whole world breaks down. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do think that there's more going on than just there's a few little hiccups here and there.
There is an interesting thing though, where we closed down the whole world for over a year, and now people are like trying to pretend like that all these problems are coming out of nowhere, and it's like no, people are dying all over the place. The whole supply chain is completely screwed up, and people are like, what's going on?
It's probably more likely that they were never that efficient in the first place, and now that they have to be. I mean, there was a survey done with what's that organisation called? I wrote it down before. I can't find it now.
Is it the ONS one?
The national survey, where they now reckon there's more people actually employed than before COVID.
Yeah. It went up 0.6% to 29.3 million, which is an interesting stat, because there's more people on payroll than before COVID, but there's more vacancies as well. So there's just it's a buyer's market.
It's like the real thing is that the economy is doing very well, and because if employment's up on before COVID, then then there must be more going on. So it must be that the economy is actually doing better. And there's more demand for lots of things. So I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people that are quite busy at the moment. And anyway, we digress. What were we talking about then? Prices are up. Yep. So then we promised to people to mention that we're going to mention Walker's crisps, weren't we? Before we go.
Oh yeah, there's a shortage, man.
I don't know how there can be a shortage of Walker's crisps. They put like 6 crisps in a packet. I think it's awful.
And the British potatoes.
Yeah. So how can there be a shortage? They're made here. British potatoes. Same factories, same farms.
I'm not listening to you next week, Aidan. I'm just going to mic you up. I'll just put one on there.
No, the crisps are nice, but I think they let us down because you've got to have 3 bags of crisps just to get to where you were a few years ago. Are they still around?
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they Scottish?
I don't know.
I think we should boycott anything from Scotland.
No, not the nice things.
What's nice from Scotland?
Black pudding.
Oh, no.
Scottish black pudding. Beautiful.
I wouldn't even look at
Square
it.
sausage, meat pies. Are you noticing a theme?
I just don't like this stuff. But no, I'm not. I wouldn't. Black pudding? No. Blood and fat, fried. No, even me, no. And I've eaten lots of China.
Tried it, I guarantee.
I've travelled all over China eating what they serve, but I couldn't eat a black pudding.
So weak.
Anyway, Walker's crisp. I'm afraid I don't care that there's a shortage because I think you're ripping off your target market. So that's that. So anyway, I'm on page 3. You put here hundreds of jobs lost as legal services group enters administration. I don't care. I think lawyers are I won't say the scum of the earth, but I think the world could do with less lawyers. I think they cause a lot of trouble, don't do a particularly good job, and charge through the nose and ripping people off all over the place. So maybe if we didn't have lawyers, people could agree things easier. Or at the end of the day, it's a judge that decides anyway. What do you say? What do you say, Graham? You've got an opinion on lawyers?
I think lawyers are wonderful, Stephen. What would we do without them?
Well, you'd be in prison, wouldn't you?
Well, who would write Greta Thunberg's tweets if there was no legal professionals out there?
Yeah, well, they do a lot of good, don't they? Insulate Britain. People are going to prison. But in fairness, though, they'll be a lot warmer in prison than lying on pavements and in the middle of the road on motorways.
My way.
What would you do? Burn them?
I'd just leave them in a concrete cell with an open window.
You're not a very compassionate person, are you, Hayden?
No.
What about you, Graham? You were sniggering when you read this
I'm so
article.
happy about this. Screw them. Like a couple of them are going like their husbands are on the news and that going,
They were crying, weren't they?
Yeah,
they're crying because they're so passionate about saving the world. Maybe they are. Maybe they're so desperate to stop to stop the government's behaving this. They don't seem to be. No, they really don't seem to be.
Vegan ISIS. They're just they're spineless terrorists. I'm not interested. I'm really happy that you really, really believe in something.
Yeah.
But throwing yourself on the motorway and gluing yourself to the thing there, just screwing over thousands and thousands of people. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas in jail.
They probably will. They probably have
apparently
a great time.
Apparently one of them went to a high security one. They proper screwed her.
Why? What did he do?
I don't know. Because the ones that have gone away for it are the ones that were given court orders specifically telling them. Like, so it's not like they were warned casually by the police. They were given court orders already to say stop doing this.
Silly.
And they broke it. They got the wrong judge.
I don't
and he
know.
went, boo.
I don't know. You know what? I say it all the time. I just get up in the morning, come to work, and I don't know. But what I will say, I'm always criticising employees and staff, but there's this kickstart job scheme, and in the past I've always sort of veered away from these types of things because I think, young people coming in, you've got to train them, do my head in, and at the end of the day, even though the government are paying their salaries for a while anyway, I feel that I don't have the time it takes putting things right and go backwards and forwards isn't worth taking them on. But I was convinced to take on a young man, and he's been very, very good, so much so that we're going to keep him. And I think maybe the way they're vetting the applicants on the scheme are a bit better than they've done in the past. So maybe if you do need staff, give a younger person a chance, and apply to the Kickstart job scheme, which is, the wages are subsidised, so there's not much risk for yourself, and you can always kick them out if they are no good. So have we got the contact details there, Graham?
Why would you? Yes, they're in the description. Of course they're there.
Well, I just need to know.
I had one job and that was it, and I did it.
Yeah.
Yes, they're there, and it's the top link in the description of both the streams. So just go and have a look.
Do you know what I don't like?
Get some slaves.
I've had
Government-backed slavery is back, baby.
Yeah. Listen, free labour, it's a double-edged sword, but it's equal pay day today, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, men and women. It's the day women stopped earning as much as men. It's nonsense. But I was taken to a tribunal once many years ago, Graham. I was taken because I had this silly girl that took me to a tribunal because I didn't give her equal pay, and I didn't understand what she was talking about. And then what it actually happened is that she thought because she was a graduate, she shouldn't be on the same pay as people that weren't graduates. She should be on the same pay as other people that were graduates. So she got it all mixed up, and I think the judge let her know that. But that's people, honestly, they're so sometimes you just want to shoot them.
Do you know how they work that equal pay thing out? Because they say, this is the date in November where women stop getting paid. It's a complete lie. What they do is they work it out over your entire life.
Oh.
So you might earn 2 million in your entire life, and then they'll compare it to a woman that earns 10% less.
Right.
Over the lifetime, and they then say that that's a year-on-year thing.
I don't want to
But in the UK, women under 30 actually earn more than men by a teeny
I don't
tiny
understand
percentage.
the big problem with it. We've all got, well, a lot of us have got daughters and sisters and mothers and wives, and why shouldn't they get paid as much?
They do, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
More women choose to leave the workforce for kids, and that skews the numbers. So unless we forced men and women to leave the workforce...
I suppose it's the sort of jobs they do, what people do as well.
Well, yeah,
But I think the advice for small businesses is to keep a harmonious workplace.
Just stop hiring women.
Just stop, whatever. So what are we going to finish on now? I've been seeing a lot on social media at the moment, and it's about bounce back loans and companies in trouble, and they're sort of these adverts, and whether it's on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or wherever, and I'm getting emails as well, telling me that telling me that if you're in trouble, if your company's in trouble, and you've got debt, or you've got bounce back loans that you can't service, that you should you can use their services and they'll sort it all out for you. But the truth is, the way to sort it out is either liquidation or negotiate a better deal or improve the business. But there's no magic bullet that's going to just put it to bed. If you do have problems, speak to your own accountants or even me, but don't start going to these firms that are specifically advertising for with easy answers for all this, because there really isn't one. So anyway, are we going to end? Oh, just one thing. This Portugal bans bosses texting staff after hours. What do you think of that?
I think I'd have such a good... If we were in Portugal right now, I'd have such a good claim against you right now. Texting me at 1 a.m.
I text you love letters.
Sending me creepy TikToks.
They're not creepy. You don't say that when we're alone. But no. With
it's a bit weird though. Texts.
I would rather someone text me. I don't like it when people text me. I just think it's unnecessary. But I'd rather someone text me than phone. because phone's more of an intrusion, I think. And sometimes if you're working with people and especially at the moment where people are working from home, and when people work from home, they choose their hours really. So I know that because I see the accounts direct feed where people are logging on at all different times. Sometimes, someone online the other night at 1 o'clock in the morning when I checked the work logs. Some people just do that. So sometimes they need to ask you something. So I'm a bit more flexible about it these days. And I don't, if someone says don't contact me after work, then okay. But I think in this age, I think you need to contact people and you need to contact them. If they specifically say don't, then okay. But, so there's that. Do you know what you've done here, Graham?
What?
You've given me the quote of the day.
That's not part of the notes. No.
It is. It's here. Look.
No, I know, but we didn't
there,
prep
at the bottom.
It shouldn't be on there though.
Well, again. Anyway, so there's no quote of the day.
No.
You've nothing exciting to say. I'm done. I want to go home and have my lasagna and have a nice coffee and a bath and relax. And I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.